Hello futuristic developers. Today you are watching one of the best multi-purpose React responsive admin dashboard tutorial over the YouTube with a lot of cool features. By following this project, you will be able to make complex UIs, logics between the components and many more very easily. But before starting the project, let's have a look what we are going to learn throughout this tutorial. By following this tutorial, you will learn how to make React project from scratch. We will also see how to implement the useState hook in React. And to make the reusable components, we will use the map method of JavaScript many times in this video. For the beautiful icons and PNGs, we will use the Icon Scout library, which is the famous one. We will also play with the apexcharts to make the beautiful and responsive charts. And to make the smooth transitions between the components, we will use the most advanced library for animations in React called Framer Motion. And for more specific, we will see the most interesting topic animated shared layout of Framer Motion to make expandable cards. We will also use a material UI table, which is the component of material UI library. We will also try to make the responsive and elegant design using CSS3. Still, there is many more to explore throughout this video. So until I roll the intro, make sure you hit the subscribe button and also like the video. And after watching the tutorial, don't forget to leave a comment. Let's start. And here I am in a blank VS Code directory, and mostly when we start a React project, we write something like npx create react app and or maybe yarn create react app, but it installs too much extra stuff with the default structure that we never gonna use. So to avoid this problem, I have made a link of GitHub repository here with the name dashboard starter. You can just copy the link and inside your terminal write git clone and paste the link. So by cloning this link, you will only install the required files. Okay, so it will not install the extra stuff. So I am just going into its directory, open the VS Code inside this and close the previous one. Okay, here you can see we have a source folder. Inside the source folder we have images folder. Okay, so in images we have some images that we are going to use during this project, and we also have app.js. App.js have nothing instead of some text like subscribe ZAINKEEPSCODE. Okay, and this is the total setup for our new app. I should make the text bigger. Okay, in the app.css I have just declared some variables, means some color shades and shadows etc that we probably use during this project. It's not important that we will use all the variables during the project. Okay, so let's start the project. When we try to start the project, it will not start itself because we have no npm modules installed. So to install them, I will write simply yarn. So before starting this command, I want to mention that inside the package.json, I have mentioned dependencies like icon scout, react uni icons, and framer motion, apex charts, and many more. So by doing so, we will not have to install packages one by one during the project. They all will be installed at once during the start. Okay, so you should also do the same stuff. If you clone the repository, just type yarn and hit the enter. Okay, and it definitely depends on your internet connection, so let's wait. So here all the packages and dependencies have been installed. Now it's time to import the fonts. So I am going to Google Fonts and searching for a font name Inter, just like this. Okay, now here I am copying its variant 400 and 500 which is medium and 700 which is bold. Okay, so now to import them in our project, I just copy this complete link here, and I think so. Okay, yeah, I just copy this link, and inside my directory here in index.html, just below this meta tag, I am pasting this. Okay, so let's make it clear for you guys. Now format the code. Okay, here you can see we have the inter font with the weight 400, 500 and 700. For more, the default React project have some margin around its body. So to remove this, I am saying the body will have margin 0. So it will remove all the margins. Now let's start our project. Here I am just typing yarn and then start. Here you can see our project has been started successfully. You can see the text subscribe ZAINKEEPSCODE, but the font is not applied till yet. Okay, so now install the font in our project. I will go to the app.css here, and for the most parent app class, you can see in app.js the most parent is app. So I am targeting this class by importing app.css in app.js. Okay, so here I will say font family. So to write the font family, I again go to the Google Fonts, and here you can see they have mentioned how to import this font. So just copy this and simply paste this. Now save and see. Here you can see the text has been changed, means it's working fine. It's time to make the component for our dashboard. So I just close the extra stuff here, and here is our pre-built version that we will use as a reference during the video. Now let's first of all make the background and some glossy look to our whole project. Like this, you can see we have a shade for the background and then a glass like div on this background. So to make this on the app.js, I just remove this text and make another class with the name app class. Okay, now everything will lie inside the app class. I'm closing this and opening CSS side by side like this. Now first of all, for the .app, so for the background of .app, I am just pasting a gradient like this. It's basically a gradient of 3 shades. You can just simply copy and paste this. After this, I say the height of our app will be 100 view height, or you can say 100% of view. Okay, and for more, its display will be flex. Now let's see. Here we have, okay, and I think I should remove the ZAINKEEPSCODE. Okay, I have not saved this. Now you can see it's clear now. Okay, after this, for the app class, I am making some styling. App class like this. First of all, I'll say its display will be grid like this, and its height will be 97% of the app. Okay, and similarly its width will also be the 97% of the app like this, and it will have the border radius of 2 rem. Now let's see. Okay, I have to declare the color for this app class so we can see its boundaries. So I am saying the background will be our variable which have the name glass. Now let's see. Here you can see, but it's not in the center of our background because we have made our app as the display flex and have not make it justify content in the center and align items in the center. Now it will be in the center. You can clearly have the idea. Okay, if I make it on the full screen, still it's not too much visible because it's very light color, but you can feel the difference. Okay, okay, for more I will say our app class here will have the overflow hidden, so nothing will be outside this div throughout the project. It is just to make sure everything will work correctly. Okay, now if you notice in the pre-built version, we basically have the three parts of the dashboard. The left side which have the sidebar, the middle section which mainly have the dashboard cards and the table, and then the right side which have the updates card and the customer review chart. So I will divide my app class in the three parts. Let's see. Here as we have made its display as grid, so I say the grid template and columns will have 11 rem as the left side, and the middle will be the auto, and for the right side it will have the 20 rem. Okay, now to feel the difference here, I'm just inspecting it by Control Shift I, and now I will go to the Elements tab, and in the Elements tab I'm just selecting the app.class and enabling the grid section. Here we have the headings for the grid, but for now they are not making the sense because we have nothing inside the app class. So if I just simply make the three divs, like this is the first one and then these are the three. Now let's see. Here you can have the clear idea. This is the left side, this is the middle, and this is the right, which will have the updates and the chart. It will have the dashboard cards, and it will be the sidebar, of course, like this one. Okay, I am just removing these empty divs because we have to make components here, and to make the different components here inside the src, I will make a new folder with the name components, like this. Okay, inside the component, our first component will be the sidebar. So I have made an other folder with the name sidebar, and inside sidebar I have a file named sidebar.jsx. Similarly, I will have another file with the name sidebar.css. Now close the app.css, and I am pinning the sidebar.css towards the left side. For the sidebar.jsx, I am writing RAFCE, which is a shorthand method that comes with an extension named ES6. You can just simply install by going here in the extension section of the VS Code, and here I am importing its CSS by import sidebar.css. Okay. Now let's import the sidebar.jsx component in app.js. So here simply write sidebar. Okay, it will auto import the sidebar component. Now let's see if we have this text in app, then it's mean it's working correctly. Yeah, here we have the sidebar text. You can see here. I should not zoom in. Okay, but you can have the idea, it's here. And I think I should also make the empty divs so it will always remain in some alignment. Okay, yeah. Now let's make the sidebar component. Here I am removing this text and just make this closer for now and make this text bigger. Yeah, now div dot sidebar. First of all, our sidebar will have a logo at the top. So for the logo, I am making an other div with the name logo, like this, and inside the logo we will have an image, and with an image we will also have the name of our dashboard or our shop or anything you can say. So for the name I am making a span. Okay, so first of all let's import the image. To import the image, as I have mentioned earlier, we have the images folder here, and here we have the logo png. Okay, so I am going to import this. I will say import logo from just go outside and inside the images, and then logo.png, like this. Now for the image src, I just simply write the logo. Here we have the logo png. Okay, now I have made the name as the shops. So for this I am writing sh, and then inside an other span I am writing o, and then again the ps. Why I have written the o inside and other span? Because if we have a look at the pre-built version, the o have a different color while the remaining text have a kind of black text. Okay, so to achieve this effect I have made the o inside an other span, and inside the sidebar.css I am targeting the parent class and making its display flex, and then the flex direction of column, and its position will be relative, and it will have a padding top of 4 rem. So everything inside the sidebar will have some margin from the top corner, and the margin will have the 4 rem height. Okay, and then anything will be happen with the sidebar will have a transition of 300 ms ease. Okay, let's save and see. Here we have this one. It's time to fix our logo div. Okay, so after this I will target the logo div which lie here. Here, this is the logo div, so I am targeting this one. So dot logo, and it will have height of 5 rem, and the font weight of bold, of course, and after this it will have a font size. Okay, so I am declaring its size around 22 pixels, and as I have made its display flex, the PNG and the name is too much close to each other. So here I am declaring some gap, and gap of almost 1 rem. So now they have a distance between each other. After this, as we have made display flex, so I am making its line item center and also justify content in this center. Let's see. Okay, still we have to declare its height because it's too much on the top. So here I will say its height will be the 4% of our total sidebar. Okay, so let's see what's problem here. Okay, so here we have the sidebar, and here we have, okay, we have made an extra s here. Now save and see. Yeah, now it's in the correct position. It's time to scale down the logo PNG. So after this logo, I am targeting the image inside the logo. So for the image, I will say the image inside the logo div, or if you hover over this expression, you can see it's saying it will have an element which will have the class logo, and then inside the element, if there is an image, then it will be targeted by this CSS property, and we have this one here inside the logo div. I think you grab the idea. Now for this image I will say its width will be 3 rem and its height will also 3 rem, so it means it will be a perfect square like this. Now it's time to style the name. Okay, so I will say inside the logo there is a span, and then there is an other span. So what I'm basically do, I am targeting this O to change its color, and you can see if I hover there will be an element which will have a span, and inside this there will be an other span. Okay, so now for this I will have the color pink. I have declared this variable in app.css, you can check. Okay, so here you can see we have changed the name of O, and I think you grab the idea of grid system, so I am just closing the grid here. Okay, I'm basically just closing the inspect. Okay, so now it's time to make the menu items. Let's see how I'm going to make this. For the menu I will make a comment with the name menu, and inside the menu I will make a div with the name menu, and of course inside this div we will have individual menu item. So let's first of all make a menu item. Okay, so menu item like this, just make it more close. Okay, Here first of all I will have a div for the icon of menu item. So I'm just simply making a div, and for now let's only say there will be an icon, and after this I will have a heading of the menu item, and for now let's say the dashboard. Here we have this. We have to make this display flex so both children will be in the row direction, and we have to give some margin top. So let's first fix this, and then we will import the icons. So here I am making a comment as menu, and first of all for the menu I will give a margin top of 4 rem, and then it will have a display flex direction of column, because we want all the menu items in the column, not in the row, because row is the horizontal like this one and the column is like this direction. So we want menu items in this direction, therefore I am declaring flex direction column. And then after this the gap between the items will be 2 rem. For the menu item I am making the display flex and align item center, and the gap between the heading and the icon will be the 1 rem. So gap 1 rem like this. Okay, now let's save and see. Here you can now have clear idea. It's time to import the icon. So to import the icon, I will use the icon scout library. So on the top of this, I will say import UIL state, which is the name of an icon, and then I will call the library. You can call this library by writing at icon scout react unicons. Okay, now instead of writing this I will say UIL state icon. Okay, here we have imported this icon successfully. But let's wait. It will not be a good idea to make all the menu items manually one by one here inside the menu, okay? Because it's not the real taste of using React. In React, we have to make the reusable components. So to achieve the reusability and avoid this recursion of same thing, means we have to do something like this by copy this and paste menu items, and then we will have such a structure and we will have too much stuff here. So we have to avoid this. Okay, so how we are going to do this? For this stuff I will make a folder inside the src, and this folder will have a name data, and inside the data I am making a file with the name data.js. So inside the data.js I will declare many type of objects that we will call one by one during our project to make different types of reusable components. So I will do every stuff step by step. So first of all let's start by the sidebar. So here I am importing some icons from the icon scout library like this. Okay, as we have imported UIL state icon from here, you can clearly see. So I am removing this from here, and I have imported this in sidebar imports. Okay, in addition to this I have also imported many more icons for our complete sidebar. After this I am making an empty array for now sidebar data. Okay, and now in this array we will declare the data of every menu item. If we have a look at the pre-built version, you can see every menu item have two components. First is the icon and second one is the heading of the menu item. So it means the every object for the menu item will have the two components. So the first component will be the icon and the second component will be the heading of menu item. So similarly I will make many more objects inside this array for the different menu items, like this one for the orders, this one for the customers, this one for the products. Okay, This UIL state, UIL clipboard all are not just simply strings. These are the icons that we have imported here. For more, I am importing the analytics, and so just save this, and inside the sidebar, first of all, I have to import this sidebar data. As you can see, I have written here export means this file will produce this array in the result. So to import this, here I will say import sidebar data. Yeah, it has auto suggested me. So just close this, and for now make it close. Okay. Now instead of writing this, I am just removing this whole menu item, and I will say iterate through the sidebar data. And for the iteration, I will use the map method of JavaScript. And for the map method, there will be an item in the return of each iteration, and I think so that they should be in double braces. Okay, so there will be an item and there will be an index in the return of each iteration. Now for the each iteration, I will making a return statement, and then in return we will have a div. This div is basically that one we have made for the menu item, like this one. Okay, do the same stuff as I have did before. The first one will be the png or the icon, so I will say item dot icon. You can see here we have the icon key. Okay, so here I am calling this key item dot key, and after this I had a span, and inside the span I will say item dot heading. Here we have to say it as the sidebar data, not the sidebar. Okay, now let's see. Here we have made a complete menu items in the sidebar. It's time to style them, but we also have to make a sign out icon. Okay, so first let's make it. After this iteration, I will make an other menu item manually. So just give it a class name of menu item, and then inside this menu item I will say UIL sign out alt. Okay, and now I am importing it manually here. Import. Now let's save and see. Here we have this icon for the logout. Now go to this styling. Okay, so for the menu items, I'm making their height 2.5 rem each, and then they will have a margin left of 2 rem. And after this, the position of each item will be the relative and relative to the parent sidebar, which is also relative. Now I am declaring same transition, that everything will be happen will have all 300 ms ease, like this one. Here you can see they are in a very beautiful alignment. Okay, I have to change the font size of these items, so the font size will be 14 pixels. Moreover, when we hover each item, there should be a cursor pointer. Okay, so I will say dot menu item on hover will have the cursor pointer. Yeah, and after this, if we have a look at the pre-built version, we have this beautiful pink background on the active. Okay, on the active menu item. So to make this, I am making an other class with the like this, and I am saying its background will be variable active item, like this, and they have the margin left of 0. Okay, now to see the results, I have to make one of the item as active, but as we are iterating, so let's make all the items active. Just we will fix this. Okay, okay, now their border should have some radius, so to make the radius, they have the border radius of 0.7 rem. Now it's looking more clean. And we also want this dark pink div. Okay, so to make this, I will make the before pseudo element for the menu item, and more specifically I am saying the active class have a pseudo item before, and it will have a content none like this empty, and have a width of 8 pixels and height of 100% of menu item like this, and its background will be pure pink. Okay, so the background is pure pink like this one. Now to make only one menu item active at one time, I have to use the use state hook of the React. So here I am making const selected set selected, and then I will say import the use state hook from the React, and for the default it will have the value 0. 0 means the first item will be the active on the start. Okay, as you can see we have not implemented any logic for these indexes, so let's first make them, as we are also returning an index on each iteration. So let's use this. First of all, I will remove the warning by saying the key will be like the index. And now I will not make every menu item active. Instead of this, I will make a logic on the class name. I will say if the selected number is equal to the index of current menu item, then return the class name of menu item with the active class. Okay, and if it is not, then only return the menu item. So this is just a very simple logic to do this stuff, as we have the index 0. So now only the dashboard menu item will be active. Now you can have the idea here. Okay, now how we will change the active menu item on click. So to do this stuff, here I am making a function, or you can more specifically say an on click event like this, and for this event I am saying set selected equal to the index of current. Okay, so what it will do, whenever an menu item is clicked, then the selected variable, or the constant, you can see the constant, will have the value equal to the index of that menu item, so it will become active. Now let's see. You can see how easily we have implemented this, but still it has some problem with the margins of active item, because it's something like left side. Okay, so to fix this, here for the active, I will say its margin right will have some calculations like 1 rem minus 8 pixels. So why I have made the 1 rem, as if you have the idea here, we have the margin left 2 rem. So I am making its half 1 rem, and then subtracting its width of 8 pixels from this, so it will make it equal. It's just a simple math. Okay, now you can see how clean and how they are in order. The last task is to fix this. Okay, we have to make it a little bit more towards the bottom. I will say the menu and then the menu item like this, and the last child of type menu item position absolute like this. Okay, and after this it will have bottom 2.3 rem, and it will have width 100% like this. Let's save and see. So we have completed our sidebar section. It's time to complete the middle section.
So for the middle section, first of all, I am closing all these extra files here and then making another component with the folder name main dash .jsx like this, and then I'll make another file inside this with the name main dash .css, and its name should be, folder name should be only main dash, and then here inside this there will be a JSX file, so like this one. Okay, now in the main dash.jsx rafce, and then I am importing its CSS, so import main dash.css. Now inside the app.js I will make this. Okay, so I will remove this div and here I will call main dash like this. Okay, now let's save all the files and see the results. Yeah, here we have the heading main dash, means it's working correctly. Now for the main dash.css, I just give it only some basic styling like main dash. Okay, first of all we have to make its class, so here just make main dash. Okay, and then here I will say it will have the display flex and the flex direction of column and the justify content space evenly. So if I write here space and then evenly, just like this. Okay, now what we will have inside the main dash, first of all, as we see in the developed version, we have this heading dashboard and then these cards. So let's first just make this heading. Okay, so here I am declaring an h1 tag and it will have the heading dashboard like this. After this we have the cards, so I am making another component with the name cards. First of all we have to make another folder for these cards, so cards, and then inside these cards a new file with the name cards.jsx and an other file cards.css. Okay, here rfce like this, and then importing its css cards.css. Let's save this, and here I have to auto import this one cards. Yeah, okay. Now if I see at this version, here we have these cards, means it's working correctly. Okay, now if we see at the developed version, you can see we have 3 cards. So instead of making these 3 cards in this div individually by something like this div.cards, and then make each card one by one, first card, then second card, and similarly then the third card, it's not the real taste of React, as I have mentioned earlier in the sidebar section. So instead of doing this stuff, I will again make the reusable components, and similarly I will use the map method. Okay, so basically let's grab the concept. Okay, so if we look at this card, anything that is not common in these cards will be the part of data. Okay, so as we can see, their styling of boundary is same, their size are same, the position of their headings and the values are same. The things that are different are their values of radial bar chart, their heading names different, their values different, and their icons are different. Okay, so I will make an array inside the data here. Okay, I just make the text smaller like this. Here I will make an array that will be exported with the name cards data. Okay, and then inside this array I will make the JavaScript object, and each object will represent an individual card. Now inside the cards data, as I have mentioned, I will make the JavaScript objects. So let's first make an object. Okay, inside the object, first of all, I will have the title sales. Here I am talking about the first card. Okay, the first expandable card, about this one. Okay, this is an expandable card, so I am writing the data for this card. So here first of all it's title sales, and then the colors are also different for each card, so I am making a nested object and the color will have a background which is something like purple linear gradient, and I should close this one. And also it have a box shadow. As you can see, each card also have a different box shadow. It have purple, it have pink, and it has the yellow. So therefore I have make a color object inside the card's data, and then its bar value is basically this value, because the first card has 70%, so I have made this 70%. Then the value of the amount, here we have the value of the amount, and then we have a png. As you can see that the png of each card is different, so here I am mentioning their pngs. And then the series, let's forget about this series for now, as this series we will use in the expansion for making this graph. As each graph is different, so that means each card is using a different series of data. So that series of data I have mentioned here, but don't think too much about this for now. We will clear everything about this on making expandable. And then similarly I have made an other card for the revenue, and the last card expenses. Okay, so now what I am going to do, I just save this file, and inside cards.jsx, here I will iterate through these card data. So first of all, let's import this cards data here, yeah. And then I am writing map method, and then I say for each card will have the ID like this, and then each card will return a component with the parent div of parent container like this one. And then inside each parent container there will be an other react component with the name card. Okay, as I have not made any file with the name card, so it's giving an error, but we will fix it later. Now for each card I will give some props. The first prop will be the title of the card, and this title is going to be the card.title. Similarly the color, so color will also the card.color, and then the bar value, and bar value equal to the card.bar value, and then the value simply, so card.value. We also had a png, so card.png. And then at last we have the series. Okay, as we will use it later, but just pass it down as a prop series. Okay, so basically these are all the items that we have inside the data here. Okay, now let's make a component with the name card, and inside the card make a new file card.jsx and the card.css like this one. Okay, card.jsx rafce, and then remove this default text and make a div with the name card. Okay, I mean the class name card. Okay, before defining styling for this, I should define styling for cards.css, as these. Okay, there is an error with the, we have not imported these pngs or the icon. So I go to here, and then I just simply copy the name, and here I will paste this one, and then similarly for this I again just simply paste it here. Now let's save and hope for the best. Yeah, so I was talking about the styling of cards file. So the cards have the three divs, or the three cards, they are in the row direction, so obviously I will make it display flex. Okay, so here the cards.css will have the display flex, and the gap between each card will be the 10 pixels like this. Okay, now we also had a parent container inside the cards, and here if you can see we have this parent container, so I should also make styling for this. So inside the parent container it have the width 100%. Okay, so let's just save, and import this card by auto importing. uh, yeah, just like this one. It's time to see the results. Here we have the 3 card headings, means they are working correctly. It's time to make these cards. So I just close everything except the card file. And first of all, I will receive the props, okay, inside one variable with the name props. This is basically an object that will have all the props. Okay, now first of all, I will make the compact card structure, this one. Okay, then we will work on how to expand this. Okay, first of all, if we see that each card have the 2 forms, one is expanded and the other is compact. So how we are going to achieve this effect? We can achieve this effect by the framer motion. In the framer motion, we have a concept called the animated shared layout. So we will use this. So before going in too much explanation, here I am just making a useState hook. So the useState hook have 2 things. The first is expanded and the other one is a function, the name set expanded. And at the first, each card will have its value as false. It's just a boolean value. Okay, so at the first it will false, no card will be expanded at the first. Now inside the card, if I just remove this, okay, and then I am importing the animate shared layout. Okay, so animate shared layout, I think so that this one from framer motion. Okay, then and then to use this effect, everything inside the card will be inside this component animate shared layout. So here I simply write animate shared layout and then close this tag. So what it does, it basically provide us some extra frames. Okay, as you see, there are some extra frames when it expand and collapse. These frames are provided and handled by this component animate shared layout. We don't have to do anything, we just have to define the 2 different layouts. Okay, and then I say if the card is expanded, okay, then return the expanded card. Okay, just like this. And if it is not expanded, then what to return? Then just simply return the compact card. As we have not declared these definitions expanded and compact, so let's just here first of all I will make the structure of compact card. Okay, as you can see, the compact card have a type of rectangle with the 2 sides inside each card, one for the radial chart and other for the values and the pngs. So yeah, here I will make a function with the name compact card and it will obviously receive the parameters. So here I will pass the parameters param value as the props that we have received from the cards and then receive these parameters here. Now define the body of this card. This will return us a div with the class name compact card like this. Now inside this structure, first of all, we will have a radial bar and let's for now just say it as a chart. Okay, and then after this we will have the details of the chart on the right side. So I will say it as the detail. Inside the detail, first of all, we will make the png. Okay, because here if we see we have the png on the top. So here I will receive the png in the constant png and it will be equal to the param dot png like this. Now I will make this as the component png component and it should be bigger, like it should also be bigger like this. Okay, now after this png I have a span. Inside this span I have the value in dollars. So params dot value just like this one, and then I have another span and inside this span I have a text last 24 hours. just like this. Okay, now to see the results, here we also have to make the expanded card, but just for now, let's say it will return as expanded. Okay, now let's save and see. As we have false, so we will return the compact card structure. Here you can see we have the chart and the png and all the values are received correctly. Okay, and I am using a library called the React Circular Progress Bar. You can check its documentation here, React Circular Progress Bar. Okay, so I am just copying this two lines from here and import them at the top of our file here. Now I will make this. So inside the radial bar I will here this circular progress bar, and it will have the value equal to param dot bar value, and then it have a text, and the text will be param dot bar value. Okay, but the text should also have the percentage sign like this, so I am writing it inside the backticks like this. Yeah, now it's time to style these cards. So as we have received the colors for these cards inside the parameters, so here I will declare their stylings. The style will be equal to the background, and similarly there will be a box shadow, and now it have a box shadow, so the box shadow equal to the param dot color dot box and the shadow. Okay, I should see the data file just for side by side here. Okay, the background has a bigger G, so if I write here the G, now let's see. Here we have the backgrounds and the colors for these cards. It's time to style the inner structure. So I just open the card.css. As I have to style the compact card, so I just write the compact card, and it have a display flex, and the flex value of each card will be 1. Then the height is 7 rem, which is important. Okay, like this one. Okay, now the border radius is equal to 0.7 rem for each card. Okay, you probably have a question why I have written here imported, because we have the circular progress bar and it's the component of a library which have its own width and height, so it's possible that it may take over the height of our actual parent div, so therefore I have written here the important. And for more, the text inside this will have the color white, and the position will be relative, and the cursor will be like pointer on each card. Now let's see, the styling is not applied because we have not imported the card.css. so the card.css, let's save and see. Yeah, here we have these cards in the correct height. As you can see, still the circular bar is not having the correct height, so let's fix this. First of all, I want to make the compact card shadow none on hover, so the box shadow on hover will be none, like this. Now fix the radial bar. So for the radial bar, I am targeting radial bar, and it will have the flex 1, and then the display flex and the flex direction of column of cost, and then it have the justify content at the flex end, like this. For more, it have a gap of 1 rem. Here we have this side. Okay, so it is aligned at the end of the flex. Now I will target the circular bar, so I will say the circular progress bar path. Okay, so you can see these class name by inspecting these. Okay, so here you can see this is the circular progress bar path, and similarly we have the text, and I assume we have the trail. Yeah, here we have the trail that is behind the path. So, and this is the total png. So I am just targeting the path to make it white. So here I will say the stroke of path will be white, which is important. Everything that we will work with any library component, we will make it as important to override our styling. Okay, and then the stroke width will be of 12 pixel with the important. And for the last, it have a shadow, so I am dropping a shadow of 2 pixels, 4 pixels, 6 pixels, and the white. Now let's see. Okay, there is a mistake by me, the b should be smaller. Now let's see. Okay, here we have this, and we have to style the parent div. So here I write just circular progress bar without path. The total div will have a width of 4 rem, which is again important, and the overflow is visible, so we can see the shadow of path easily. Now let's save and see. Here you can see how beautiful is this looking. It's time to fix the trail. So to fix the trail, I just copy this name so we avoid the mistake again, and then write the trail. For the trail, I just simply make its display none. Our next task is to fix the headings of these radial bar charts. So I say inside the radial bar we have a span. Here we will have these spans. Okay, you can see these spans by inspecting, and for this span make the font size 17 pixels and the font weight of bold. Let's see. Okay, it's not targeting these texts, so I should do something different. If here I assume it will have a class text like this one, and if I make its fill equal to white and then important, then save. Yeah, it's working. Okay, it's time to fix the right side, the detail side. So for the detail side, here I am commenting and writing the details. I am making its flex 1 and the display flex with the flex direction of column, and the justify content space between like this, and the align items, I don't think so in the center, they should be at the flex end. Okay, so let's see. Padding to look it more clear. So for the padding, I am again going to compact card, and here just make the padding equal to 1 rem. Let's save and see. Now it's looking very good. Now it's time to fix these texts for the detail side. For the text, first of all, I am targeting a span with the nth child, I assume 2. Okay, and for the second child, I am making its font size only 22 pixels and its font weight of bold like this. It's time to fix this last 24 hours, so I just simply copy this, and here instead of 2 I will say 3, and the 3 will have the font size of 12 pixels. Let's see. Yeah, it's just this. Okay, you probably assume that this is not the correct position for the cards, and this is why, because still we have not made the table. When we made the table, then as we have declared space evenly, it will automatically fix itself to the towards the top. So this is the technique to make it responsive for every device. Okay, and I think we have forget to make the headings of these cards. So why the heading? Okay, here below this circular progress bar, I am making a span, and the span will have the param dot title like this. Now let's save and see. Yeah, everything is now incorrect, and still when we hover, the shadow is not none. Let's see why. There is the compact card structure, and there is compact card on hover, the box shadow is none, but it's not working. Okay, if I try to make it important, now let's see. Yeah, now it's working. Our compact card structure is now completed. It's time to make the structure of expanded cards.
Before making the expanded card structure, first of all, I am here passing another function with the name set expanded. Okay, so as I am passing it, so here I also have to define this prop set expanded, and this will be a function call to our useState hook function, which is the set expanded. And when I pass this function to the compact card, then it will open, so it will make the set expanded as true. Okay, so our card will be expanded when someone clicks on the compact card. So this is a very simple logic, and I am passing this function here, and after the styling I will say on click. When someone click on this, then the function will be called as set expanded. Now, so similarly I am declaring the expanded card function as expanded card with the parameters also equal to the props, and then set expanded. It again will be simple a function call similarly to use state hook function, which is set expanded, and it will become false. Okay, so when someone clicks on a certain element in expanded card, then it will become the false, means it will become compact. And I should remove this from here, and okay, there should be not this tag, and still I have to close this one. Okay, now I have to define this expanded card, so I'm just making this more smaller, and below this I am writing expanded card, and it will again be a function expanded card that will receive the params, and the set expanded function return an array as div dot expanded card. Now in the expanded card, first of all I will declare its styling. So here I am saying its style is equal to the background, like this, equal to the param dot color dot background, and then we have the box shadow like this one, which will also be equal to param dot color dot box shadow. Yeah, like this I should format the code. Okay, now inside the div, first of all I will have a icon to close the chart. As you can see here, if I expand this, here I have a close icon on which if I click, the card is become compact. I am importing a png from icon scout. Here I am say import uil times from at the rate icon scout react uni icons. Okay, now I am using this icon here inside the expanded card div. For this I am making another div, and inside this I am just writing this, and I say on click on this. Okay, on clicking this, let's execute the expand set expanded prop. Okay, and then I close this. We'll have a span. Inside this span I will simply have the title, which is equal to the param dot title. Just format the code. Okay, after this I have a container for the main chart, or you can say the main graph. So I will say div dot chart container like this, and inside this I will have the chart just like this, and below this I have another text which is saying last 24 hours. So now if I just make its use state equal to true, I will see the expanded cards. But you have idea that we want only one card to become expanded at one time. So for this I will just keep it as false, and as I have made on click, so this becomes expanded. Okay, so and for more I should make it on click this cross icon. So here is the cross icon, and it has the set expanded already set. So yeah, it's working fine. You can see that it's become expanded and collapsed. it's time to define styling for the expanded and to make the chart inside this. Okay, to make the chart inside the expanded card, I am using the React Apex charts. You can see its documentation here. It has very easy documentation to read. You can make different types of charts here, and I am using the area chart. So if I go to plot options, and here it is the area and it's loading. Here it have all the options regarding the area chart. Okay, so this is basically saying how to make an area chart, and these are all the options to play with them. You can read its documentation properly from this website. Okay, so first of all, let's import the chart from the Apex chart library. Its component name is chart, and it will use the series that we are receiving from our param. So param.series, and then the type will be the area. Okay, it have different type of charts, so we are using the area chart. Now let's import this. Import chart from React Apex charts, just like this. Okay, so now if I see what happens, yeah, there is an error because we have not defined the options. So okay, so whenever I click this, our app crashes because we have not defined the chart options here. Every Apex chart uses some options. So here I say the options will be equal to data.options. Now it's time to declare options for this chart. So here I will make a constant with the name data, and inside this data I will have an other object options. Okay, now for the options, first of all, I am making an object chart. Okay, these nested objects are basically the part of documentation of Apex chart. Here you can see here we have the chart object. Similarly, we have the field object, data labels, and I am going to use all these objects to make a beautiful chart. So inside the chart, I am having the type area, height, auto, and then I will make the shadow as the false because I don't want any type of shadow, and then I will make its position just something like this, a part of documentation. And here I'm defining the color for the shadow and the opacity. Then how to fill the chart. The color of filling the chart will be this. It's basically a gradient color of white, which will look like something bluish. And then I'm making the data labels false, and the stroke, the main stroke of the chart will have a curve smooth. If I make it not smooth, then it will be like the steps which have the sticky corners. Okay, and the color of the stroke will be white. Then the tooltip. Tooltip is basically a type of div that appears when we hover the stroke. So it's also have the format on the x-axis like day, month, year. And now the grids are the lines that are below our stroke or below our area chart that defines us the height of the chart and the width of the chart. So I am making it show true, and for the x-axis I have its type as a date time. So everything will be like the date and the time on the x-axis, and it has these categories. Now let's save, and first of all let's format and save. Here I am accessing these options. Just save and see. Yeah, you can see the chart is appearing. Okay, and it's looking good. And here you can see, to make the transition between compact and the expanded card smooth, here on the most parent div below the styling, I will give it a layout ID. Okay, and I think so before giving the layout ID, first of all I should make it as motion.div. Motion is basically a component that we will import from the framer motion. So here if I make it, so here I am importing motion. Okay, now you can see the error is gone. Now I will give it as a layout, and then the ID equal to expandable card. Okay, and the similar layout ID I will give to the compact card. So where is the compact card? Here first of all I will make it as motion.div, Okay, motion.div, and now make it as a expandable card layout id, save, and let's see the results. Here you can see, okay, so it's basically now have some extra frames to collapse and to become expandable, but we have to fix it, the positioning of the expandable card. So let's move towards the css. Here I am making a comment for the expandable card like this, and now this expandable card have this class name. I should double check. Okay, okay, it's expanded card, not expandable. So first of all, this expanded card will have a position absolute and the width of 60% of total screen. Moreover, the height will be the 70% of our total view, and it have the z index of 9, means it will be over anything that we see in the dashboard. And then I am declaring its left position will be the 13 rem. You can play with these values to fix your needs. And then the border radius of 1 rem, which is the main theme of our dashboard, and it causes the display flex direction of column line, align item center, and the justify content space between, like this. And for more, I am giving it a padding of 1 rem. Okay, now let's see. If I refresh the page, here you can see. So for now, it is going outside our main dashboard because our compact cards are not in the correct position. They will become in the correct position when we will have a table below these cards. But for now, just assume that this is the correct position of expandable card. And you can see how beautiful it is looking. And by the way, these options comes with the library to download it as a PNG, SVG, and to zoom in, zoom out. We don't have to make anything. It's time to style this cross option. Okay, so to style this, so here I am declaring styling for this cross option. Here I will say align align self towards the towards flex end. Okay, and for more, the cursor will be pointer when we hover this, and the color will be the white. Let's see. But the align self flex end is not working correctly. Let's see why. Okay, because there is a typo. Okay, still it's not at the end of flex. So here I can make a quick fix. If I just cut the styling from here and give it to the parent div. Okay, so let's format the code. Now save and see. Yeah, now the cross in its correct position. It's time to make this chart fix. Okay, so again I will go to the CSS, and here I say the expanded card have a span, and the span nth type of 1 will have the color white, font size of 26 pixels. Similarly, the font weight bold, and the text shadow. Okay, so I am giving it a text shadow of 0 pixels, 0 pixels, and 15 pixels with the color white. Let's save and see. Yeah, you can see the sales is looking very pretty. We should also fix these last 24 hours. Okay, so to fix this, I am again targeting the second span type. So here I will say the second type of span inside the expanded card will have the color white. Okay, and it should not be a pure white. It should not be a pure white. It should be something, I assume, just like this. Okay, and there I will give it a font size of 16 pixels. Yeah, it's looking very good now. It's time to fix the width of our chart. So to fix the width, I will target the chart container, and for the chart container I will make it with 70% of expanded card. Here you can see everything is looking very fine now. Okay, you can see how easy it is to make these expandable transitions. We can use this beautiful transition in many of our projects, and I personally use it.
So it's time to make the table. First of all, I will close all these files, and inside the components folder here, so here I will make a new folder with the name table. Inside the table folder again I will have the two files. One will be the table.jsx and the other one will be the CSS like table.css. Now inside the JSX I will write RAFCE and just import this CSS here. So to import the CSS, table.css just like this. Now save, and I will import this table component inside the main dash component. So here I have the main dash, and below this I am making a heading of h2 type, see, okay, and it will say recent orders. Now below this I have the table component. I should import it by auto suggestion like this. Now let's save and see the results. Here we have the recent orders and the table. But I think that the recent order is too much bold to be individual. So I just remove it from here, and inside the table.jsx I will make the h2 heading. So first of all, let's make the div for the table like this one. Now inside this I will make an h3 heading with the name recent orders like this. Okay, now let's see the results. Here we have, it's time to make that table below this one. So to make the table I am going to use the material UI library, and it gives us a pre-built component of table. If you go here inside its sidebar, you have the table component, and I am just copy and pasting this first component code. If you click here, the code appears, the JavaScript version, and just copy the source code, and I am pasting it here. Okay, so if I should first of all remove all things and just paste it like this. Yeah, okay, and now I will make a parent table div, and then here I will again make an h3 heading with the recent orders tag, and now just control X, and it will be the most parent like this one. Okay, so let's see what happened. Here we have this beautiful table, and still we have to change the styling for this table. Before changing the style of this table, let's first change the data for this table, as this is the data belongs to some food and we don't want it. So here first of all, just remove all these rights. Okay, so here I am making them align left, and similarly for all of that, these I am also making them align left. Yeah, now they are looking pretty cool. After this I am changing all the data. So here they have their own data. I am deleting this all data and making my own data like this. Okay, so this is basically our data that belongs to each row. So I have made an each row inside the create data function. So what it do, it just calls a create data function, and the create data function then returns these values that we have passed here as string. And I should also change these names here. Our second parameter is tracking ID, and the third one is date, while the last one is status like this. And similarly I am just copying and paste it right here. Yeah, now this is it. Okay, I am just moving all the headings, and our first heading will be the product, which will be the name. The second heading will be the tracking ID, and there should be a space between them. Okay, like this. And the third one is date, while the fourth one is the, I think so, status. Yeah, status. And there is nothing inside the last table cell because it belongs to detail. Okay, so let's save. So here I will change these values of table cells because I have changed the return type of here the function create table. So
if I just make it here, name is same because the product name, the second one will be the tracking ID, while the third one will be the date. Okay, so I should change it like this date. The fourth one is the status, while the last one is nothing but the detail. Okay, so it is not a prop, it is just like this. Now let's save and see. Here, this is the final version of our table. It's time to change the shadow of our table. So I will go to the most parent container here, the table container, and for this table container here, I will declare some styling. So first of all, I will say it will have the box shadow, and what box shadow it is going to have, this one. Okay, so let's save and see. Yeah, the shadow is now correct and the data is correct. It's time to style the approved and the pending and the delivered. If it is delivered, then the background will be blue. If approved, then green, and if pending, then it will be red. So let's make this. Okay, so here, instead of just writing this in the braces, I am removing it, and in this cell I will make a span. Okay, so this is the span. Inside this span, I also have a class name. The class name will be the status. It's because we want to target it more easily than to target the children's of a table. Okay, now for the styling, I will call a function make style, and inside this function I will just pass the status of our row. So yeah, row dot status, and inside the span again we will have the value of row dot span. So row dot status. So row dot status, it should not be imported from material UI. I don't know if it has some function or object for make styles. I am declaring it by myself. Here I am going to make a very easy function that I have referenced here, make style. So how I am going to make this? Here first of all, I have made a fat arrow function make styles, which is receiving the prop status of the row, and then here I am making an if condition. If the status that we have received is equal to the approved, then the background is this and the color is this. And if it is depending, then it has this red color and the background is also this faded red. And if it is delivered, then this is the text color white and the background is something like this blue. Okay, so this is basically function to make the styles of status span. Let's see. Here we have, it's time to play with the css of the table. So here I am going to the table.css, and here first of all I will target the MUI table row. You can see this class name by inspecting the table. It's very easy. Okay, and the class name of each row is the root, and then I say everything inside the row will have the padding of 10 pixels. And to see the effect of this, I should import this here. I will say from the same directory import the table.css. Now let's save this, and here we have the padding of only 10 pixels. Okay, and then after this I will just simply grab this class here, and then after this I am targeting the head root. Okay, so for the head, and everything inside the head of the table will have the font weight of bold, and I am making it as important, so the library component will not override it. Okay, now you can see these are bold. After this I will target my on table div, and I say every td and th inside this will have the border none, and I am making it as important like this one. Okay, and then for more I'll say the table first child. Okay, the table first child will have the border radius of 0.7 rem, and also I am making it as important. Now let's see the table. Here we have how clean it's looking. We have no borders, and the border of the table have some radius. Now the design is looking very clean now. So after this I will target these statuses. Okay, so for the status, here I will say it have the padding of 8 pixels and the border radius of 9 pixels.
So I say border radius of 9 pixel. Let's see. Yeah, you can see how beautiful it's looking now. For more, I will target the details class. Okay, so I have not made the details class. I assume that. So here I am giving it a class name details like this, and targeting this details class here. I am just simply giving it a color of blue, this one, and making it as important. Now let's save and see. Okay, at this point our table has been completed, and now if I expand the card, you can see how it is expanding to its correct position. As I have mentioned earlier, when we make the table, then we have a space below these cards, and which will fix the position of expanded card. So now look at this, how beautiful and how smooth is this. Okay, and there should be some gap between the sidebar and the main dashboard, and similarly between the right side and the main dashboard. So to achieve this gap, I will go to the app.js and then app.css, and here I have made the display grid. I will give a gap of 10 pixels. Let's save and see. Yeah, 10 pixels enough, and it's looking good now. So finally it's the time to make the right side of our dashboard. So here I'm making a new folder with the name right side. Okay, inside the right side again I will have similarly two files. First one will be the right side the JSX, and other one will be its CSS. So let's just make it right side dot css like this. Now inside the JSX I am writing RAFCE and importing its CSS file. So the similar stuff again and again like CSS. Now I am importing this right side in my app.js where I have made a grid of 3 column template. So I am just removing this div, and here I will now say right side. Yeah, just like this. Now let's see the results. Okay, here we have the right side, means it's working properly. It's time to give it some inner content. So here I will make a div with the class name right side. Inside this I will again have a div, and the first div will have an h3 heading with the name updates. As we don't have any component updates, but let's leave it for now, and then it will have an other component which will be the customer review. So it will basically again the apex chart. So yeah, it's again a very basic stuff. Now let's make the updates folder. Okay, inside the components, here I am making the updates component. Okay, again it will have the two files. The first one will be the JSX and other one will be this CSS, just like. But before going to CSS, first I should declare the CSS of right side. Here for its CSS I'll say the right side will have the display flex and the flex direction of column, of course, because updates and charts should be in column. Then it will have a width of 95% of last grid column, and then justify content space evenly as we have used it before in the main dashboard. So just like this. Now let's see. Okay, here is an error of updates, as we already know it should come because we have not made it before. So here it is, now importing its CSS updates.css like this. Now on the right side here, just import this by auto suggestion. Now refresh, and here we have the updates and the customer review. Okay, now let's make the updates component. So here inside the updates.jsx, first of all I will remove this and make an other div with the class name updates. Inside this again, instead of making each update manually or individually, which is not the real taste of React, I am again going to use the map method. So to use the map method, first of all I should have the data for the update section. So again I will go to the data.js, and just below all things here I'm pasting a data for the update card. Okay, what basically it will have an image of the customer, the name of the customer, the notification that we have received, and the time
that how much time has been since it is received. So now import the images that we have declared here. So to import the images, I will say import image1 from, let's go outside and then inside the images, and here we will have the image1.png. As you can see, it's lie here, image1.png. Okay, so I'm just copy and pasting it again and again for the other two images. Here and here it will be like 2 and 2, and here it will be 3, and here it will again just like this. Now import the data, so I will say update data. Okay, so it is auto imported. I will map through it, update data dot map. Now for each update I will return a function, and this function will again return some div. Okay, so here it will return a div which have the class name of update, like this. Now each update first of all will have an image. Okay, so what this image is, its image is basically the update dot image, as we have the image in the data. So here if we go, here is the image. So similarly here is the update dot image. After this it will have a notification, so I am making a div noti, and then I am making an other div. Inside this div, first of all I am making a span, and this span will have the update dot name of the customer. Okay, and similarly it will have an other span, and this span will have the notification that we have received against this customer. Okay, now let's save and see. Here we have these data. Of course we have to style them and fix them, but for now let's just import all the data. After this noti div, here I am making another div which will have a span, and this span will have the time. So update dot time, just like this. Now save, and we also have the time. It's time to style this. So first of all for this div, okay, here I am giving it a margin bottom, and its margin bottom is around 0.5 rem. 0.5 rem, yeah. I am targeting the most parent div updates which will have a width 85% of the total grid column, and a background, oh no, it should be only the background, not the color, background white, and then a border radius of 0.7 rem that we are using again and again in this project, and after this padding of 1 rem, and then a gap of 1 rem. Okay, and then let's just see. Okay, so I should make it display flex for making proper alignment and the flex direction of column. Now let's see. Okay, for more I can say that the should be only 13 pixels, so the things will become more clear. Let's say, yeah, but still the image is not making sense. Okay, basically the whole alignment is still not making sense. So I will go to the individual update, and I will make them display flex, and the gap between their items will be 0.5 rem. Let's see. Yeah, here. And it's time to make this image smaller. So I will target the image inside the update block. I will say there is an image which will have a width of 3.2 rem and a height of 3.2 rem. Let's save and see. Yeah, but here I am facing some problem that the time should not be in this direction, it should also be in column. And okay, let's see what's happening in the updates.jsx. First of all, before the notification there should be a space. Okay, and if I remove the individual div for the time here, and just make the span inside this div here, and format the code. Now let's save and see. Yeah, now it's looking very correct. Okay, it's time to make the name of the customers bold. Okay, so to make the customer name bold, I will target the notification div, and I say inside there is another div which will have a span, and the nth type of span which is equal to the one which is the name. As you can see here, This is the first span, this is notification which have an other div which have an other span, or you can just simply hover, you can have a structure. Okay, so it resembles this structure here. So what it gonna have, it will have a font weight of bold, just this. Yeah, it's crystal clear now. It's time to make the chart of the customer review. So for the customer review, here inside the component, again make an other folder which will have the name customer review, and then inside this I am making a file with the same name, customer review.jsx. Now here RAFCE, just like this, and remove the most parent div and make it as customer review, just like this one. Now I am importing this inside my right side section. So here just below this I will say the customer review. Now here if I say here I am and see the results, here I am. Okay, now as we have seen how to make the React Apex charts visible on our dashboard, I am not going to in very much detail again. So I will move through this part very quickly. I think you can understand how I am going to do this. Okay, as it's going to be a very small component, so it's just going to have a chart. Okay, and this chart will be imported from the React Apex chart. So I will say import chart from React Apex charts. After this, just above the return, here I am pasting data for its options. Okay, so you can see in this data, first of all, I have the series which have a name and the data series against which the graph or the area chart will be plotted, and then these are the options. These are just basically the same as we have in the expandable cards. Okay, so what we gonna use, we just have the series, and series equal to the data dot series, and then we have an other options equal to the data dot options, and then we will have a type, and its type is going to be the area, just like this. Now let's save and see. Here we have this beautiful chart. You can see how easily we have made this in just few seconds by having a correct data and correct options. So I think that the front view of our main dashboard has been completed. It's time to make it responsive for the tablets and for the mobiles. So let's do this. So first of all, we will make it responsive for the tablet view. Okay, so if I go here and I am inspecting it by Control Shift I, and here I am making it around 1100 pixels width. Okay, or we can simply make it iPad Air. Okay, but for now I am just making it like this. But for now I am making it something like this, and here I will close all these files again, and I will go to the app.css here. First of all, I will make a media QB. I'll say media screen, and the maximum width of the screen will be 1200 pixels. Okay, so for just for the testing, okay, I will say the app glass will have on this the background color of blue, let's say. Okay, so if I here go down this, and you can see as it hits the 1200 pixels, its background become blue. So I should make it upon here responsive. So first of all, just remove this, and here I'm saying it will have a grid template columns of 10% and 50% and the auto. And for more on the tablet view, the overflow Y will be scroll. Okay, so it will be scrollable. Now you can see that. Okay, now it's time to fix the sidebar. So I will go to the sidebar.css,
And before going to the sidebar.cs, I am just copying this media query because we have to use it again. So there is our sidebar.css, and at the end of this, here I am pasting it, and I will say at this the menu item will have a span, and this span will have a display none. Basically, I am making the headings of menu items none on the tablet view, and for more, the logo will also be none. Okay, so I will say display none, just like this. Here you can see how easy it is to make it responsive for the tablet view. Okay, for now we have just made the sidebar responsive, not the total. At this stage, it is enough for the sidebar. It's time to move to the main dashboard.css. So here I will go to the main dash.css, and again just paste the media query for the tablet view. And I will say the main dash on the tablet will have the justify content flex start. Okay, like this, and the margin top of 2 rem. Let's save and see. So here now the items are aligning themselves to the start of the flex, not the space between, okay, or the space evenly. We have made the space evenly, not the space between, but now they are aligning themselves to the start of the flex. And here we have the margin top of 2 rem. It's time to go to the cards section. So for the cards.css, I will again paste the media query of tablet, and then say the cards will have the flex direction of column, and the parent container will have the height of 9 rem. Let's save this and also save this. Now let's see. Here you have the cards in the direction of column. You can see how beautiful is this and how easy it is. But we have to fix the expandable card, okay, because they are going out of the view. So to fix this, I will go to the card.css. Here in the card.css, you go to the end, and again just paste the media query for the tablet, and I say the expanded card will have a top of 2 rem. So 2 rem, like this, and the height of 45% view height, and the left value of 6 rem, like this. Now let's see, when I expand the card, it's so here our apex chart is not fitting correctly inside the parent expanded card div. So what can I do? I will here increase the height from 45 to 70% view height. Okay, so now if I expand, now it's showing correctly. Okay, yeah, that's it. It's a very small fix in our code. And now we have to fix this recent orders and this right side. So first of all, I will fix the right side, and then I will fix the recent order tables. Okay, so let's go to the right side.css. Here we have this one. I am again pasting the query for the tablet view and making the text something like larger, like this, and then targeting the right side class. I will say the justify content will be the flex start in the tablet view, because in the tablet everyone wants to see the content on the top of the screen, and then the margin top will be the 3 rem. Now let's save and see. Here we have this, and we have the space at the end. Now it's the perfect time to style the recent orders table. So now I will go to that table. Here the table.css, here lies the table.css. Again just paste the media query, and I will say the dot table will have the width of 170% of its original. Okay, and then the margin top of 2 rem, just like this. Now see how easy it is to make it bigger and to occupy the whole space. So I think we have made it responsive for the tablet. And if I go to the iPad Air view, then you can see how beautiful it is looking on the iPad. Okay, so I should make it responsive for now, like this. We have made it responsive for the tablet view. Now it's time to make it responsive for the mobile view. Now it's time to make it responsive for the mobile view. By the way, for this mobile screen at the right side, I am using an extension that is called the mobile view. So for the mobile view, first of all, I will make the sidebar as display none just for now to handle the other components easily. And here I will say the max width for the mobile view. I will set 768 pixels. Okay, and here I will say the sidebar will have the display none, just like this. Now it's time to fix the app.css. So I will go to the app.css here, and I just copy and paste the media query here. And now let's make it 768 pixels like this, and I will again copy this for the future. Okay, and now I say the app class will have the grid template column of 1fr, means each component will have one frame. Okay, so each will occupy the full width of our display. And for more, I will say the app glass and the webkit and the scroll bar. Okay, so for this I will make the display as none, so we will not see any scroll bar in the mobile view. As we have now this one, it will be hidden. So let's save and see. Here each element has the 1fr width and the scroll bar is now gone. It's time to fix the main dashboard. So I will go to the main dash.css. Here I am just pasting the media query, and now I am targeting the main dash class and making its align item center. Just see, you can see this right now. Okay, but I have to fix this more, so I will go to the cards.css. So inside the cards.css, again paste the media query for the mobile view, and here I will target the dot cards, and I will say the width will be the 90% of the total view. Let's save. Okay, now it's around something fixed, but still many more things to fix now. So I will go to the card.css. In the card.css, again the media query, and then I'm making the expanded card as the top 8 rem and the height of 50% and the left value of 15 pixels and the width of 80% of the total mobile view. Let's save and now see the expanded card. Here you can see it is have very beautiful alignment with the mobile view, and yeah, it's pretty much good now. It's time to fix the table, because due to this table we have everything out of order. These dashboard cards and the headings and everything is out of order just because of our table. So I will go to the table.css. Here again just pasting the mobile query, targeting the table, and I am making its position relative just like this one, and display flex and the flex direction column. And for more, I am making its align item center and the width, and it will have width of 18 rem, just like this. Now you can see our total dashboard is in the perfect alignment with the mobile view as soon as I have fixed the table. Okay, the table is scrollable, so we can view all the elements inside this. It's time to fix this right side. Okay, so now in the while view it's not the right side, it's but we have the class name as right side. For the update section, go to the right side.css. So here it is, again just pasting this stuff. I am making its width 100%. Okay, so it will align itself according to the corners of mobile and margin top of 0. Let's save and see. Now the width is more reasonable. For the div inside the right side, I will say they will have the display flex and the flex direction of column, because everything inside the mobile view will have the flex direction column, and the align item center. Here you can see how easily we have fixed and made it responsive for the mobile view. So that's the beauty of React and the CSS combination, how easily they can handle the things that are well difficult in any other framework or web templating language. So it's time to make the sidebar. Okay, so I will first go to the sidebar.css here and remove this, and I will make its position fixed. Okay, after this I will make its z index 9. Then the background will be something like pink color, like this. Then the width of 55% and the padding right of 1 rem, like this. After this I will have the height of 100% for this. Now you can see we have a structure of sidebar in our mobile view. Of course we have to make it close and open on click, but for now let's focus on the template. After this I will say the menu item have a span for the while. For the menu heading I will make them display block. Just see here, now we have the heading. It's time to make the logo appear on the mobile view. So I say the logo will also have the display block. Now we have the logo, and fix this logo by not saying it as block. We will say it as display flex. Yeah, now it's more clear with the structure of mobile view. After this, as we not have the icon for the logout, so to make it appear I'll say the menu, and then the menu item will have has a last child, and this last child now have a position relative instead of absolute, and the margin top of 6 rem. Okay, the 6 rem margin top is still more than the height of mobile. So if I just make it as 2 rem, now here we have over the logout button. After this, to make it open and close on the click, I will go to the sidebar.jsx. Here, first of all, I will make a use state. Okay, so here I will say use state hook, and I will name it as the expanded. Okay, and then a function name as the set expanded, and it again have the boolean value as false, or let's say true. Okay, on default it will have a true value. Let's say for now. After this, I will enclose my total sidebar inside an empty node. So just like this. Why I have did this? Because now I have to make an icon or PNG for closing this. So I am making a div, and inside the div I have the UIL bars icon. So to make this icon appear, I have to import it from the icon scout library. Here I am importing this, and now here I have this one. So to style this, here I will make a condition. I will say if the sidebar is expanded, then the it left value of it will be okay. First of all, I should turn on the word wrap like this. So now it have the 60% of the left side, and if it is not expanded, then it will have the left side of only 5%. Okay, there is some problem. First of all, I have not to declare this style here. I have to declare this style here. Okay, and then after this I should make this div out of sidebar, just like this. So we are unable to see this because of the z index value of our sidebar. So I will name its class name as just bars. Okay, like this. And now I will target this inside the CSS. Here I will say for the mobile view, the bars will have a display flex. First of all, align item center, justify content center. I know it's not necessary. Okay, let's just skip this for now. It's not necessary here. The necessary is this. I am making its position fixed. Okay, and then it will have a top 2 rem, and the most important, it will have z index equal or greater than the z index of our sidebar. So here I'm saying it right 9, so it will override the div structure of sidebar, and then here I am giving it a background. Okay, so for its background I'm basically using the same color as I have used here. So just like this one. Now let's save and see. Okay, there should be hash. Here you can see we have this bars icon visible. Okay, after this I am saying it should have a padding of 10 pixels, which will make it more reasonable clear. Okay, and the border radius of 10 pixels will be enough. It's time to make the sidebar close on clicking these bars. So I will again to the sidebars.jsx, and for the total sidebar div, I will make it as a motion.div. Okay, and then I am importing motion from the framer motion. So here just below this, I will import motion framer motion just like this. Okay, now as I have made this motion.div, so I also make this closing tag as motion.div. Yeah, here it is. Now I am going to use the total features of framer motion library. Okay, here I will say it will have some variants, and I am saying the variants as the sidebar variants. Now I will declare these variants. What are these variants? So here just below this, I am making them as const side variants, and then they have the two type of values. First, if the sidebar is expanded. Okay, so the left value of the sidebar will be only 0 like this, and if it is false, then the left value of sidebar will be minus 60%. I am passing an other parameter, which is the animate. You can see these parameters by googling the framer motion library, and here I will say if the window dot inner width. Okay, so if the window dot inner width is less than and equal to the 768 pixels, then what to do? Then return the value of expanded variable or the expanded juice state as we have made here. Okay, if the inner width is less than 768 pixels, then it is returning the true. Okay, and then if it is not, then what it will return? Nothing, just an empty string. So when it will return the string true, the control will go here sidebar variant, and its left value will become 0. So the whole concept of making this logic is that we only want to make this expandable and collapsible on the mobile view, not on the tablet view and not on the desktop view. Window dot inner width. I hope you got the point. Okay. Now I should make a function on click. For this div here, bars, I'll say on click, execute a function which is the set expanded and make it opposite of the expanded use state. Okay, so if it is false, it will make it true, and if it is true, then it will be false. So let's see if it is working. Yeah, you can see how easily and how cool the working of our sidebar. Okay, so this is the total responsiveness for our mobile view. As you can see, it's looking very cool in the mobile view as well as in the desktop view. But there will be a problem with the desktop or the tablet view. Now, as you can see here, if I go to the tablet or desktop view, the alignment is now out of order completely. That's because now we have this bars icon in the tablet and the desktop view. So to remove this, just above all the media activities, here I will say the bars will have display as none. Okay, now it will fix all the things. You can see we have a perfect alignment for desktop view, for the tablet view, and for the mobile view. So, guys, if you think you really have learned something new and something unique by following this tutorial, then please hit a subscribe button. I know I am very late in my video posting schedule, but I am trying my hard to deliver as much quality content as possible. But I have to do a lot of other projects side by side, so therefore sometimes the videos become late. But I try my best to deliver you the quality content, so please subscribe the channel, hit the like button, and also share this video and put your thoughts in the comment section. What should we build next? So till next video, goodbye.